KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
Yo, turn my music up. Up some more. Up some more. Up a little bit more. Mama always told me to be careful who I love, and Daddy always told me make sure he's right. I always had my eyes on this one particular guy. I was too shy, so I decided to write. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. People always say
Shout out to Aaliyah. 4-page letter. Do they even do that anymore? A 4 emoji letter, right? Just sends you a bunch of emojis that you decipher and figure out the mood and the feeling, and a mood pick and a song attached, and go. Probably don't have to use as many words nowadays. You know? It's a little easier in some regard.
We're just going on a liking spree.
I mean, yeah, that means I like you, but what if you want to convey something? Like, you're past the I want to get to know you, but they want to do something else. They're going to send some emojis.
And you slide in the DM.
Yeah, with 4 emojis.
Eggplant. Peach.
No, you can't start off with the eggplant.
Hey, man, you know some people do, though.
That's rude. They don't.
It's different times.
Different times, they don't start off with the eggplant. You can't start off with the eggplant.
I don't know. Might
Maybe.
be surprised. Today's women are different.
That they are. So listen, speaking of today's woman, Joe Budden, you know, he's very opinionated. And last week, Thursday, I think it was, Thursday or Friday, Cardi B dropped a new single. It's a freestyle that is not a freestyle. Some are saying it's been around for about a year, even though it had some current little jabs in it. And she looked really fashionable in the video that Offset directed. Mind your business, what married people do. But Joe Budden says that not only not only is Cardi B scared to drop he thinks this current wave of female rappers is over and people are upset. But I fear people are not listening to what he's saying and are just upset that he's saying it. So what he says was, y'all ain't gonna want to hear it from me, but the girl rapper wave is over. Just telling you what it is. All of that, go find a girl, send her to Columbia, get it done, put her in the studio with Mike Wilmated or one of them guys. All that planning a girl on the scene, getting the record and it taking off, that wave is over. And I kind of think so because one, as he pointed out, we're really, really, really familiar with the formula. And more than that, what's going to happen with the labels, or what I see happening, is that we may like these songs, but really, how many of them are selling and how many of them are really having staying power? Like, right now, the fan bases know the trick. They know how to run it up to get something to go to number one, but it doesn't stay there. So if it hits number one, and then that's it, and then it's back to the gulag or what have you, does it matter? Is it still impactful? That's not what labels want. They want some longevity. I mean, obviously you have someone like Nicki Minaj, who just started her tour, who seemingly sells, but even favorites like Megan Thee Stallion, we haven't talked about his, have we? Since it dropped in that week. We haven't talked about, Nicki's still getting some plug with some of her songs.
His went number one, though.
It did. And then what happened? Yeah, exactly. Have you heard anybody bumping his? Have you heard anybody say, let's put on that hiss?
His is not a song that you bump.
You listen to it once and keep it moving, right?
For the most part.
That's like Eminem music to me. And here's the thing. If you listen to it once and keep it moving, how does that help streaming? It doesn't. Who's buying that outside? And not like that. Her fan base is strong, but they better show up and buy all of those Nikes as well. Like, it's time to pay dividends, We are 4 years past all of the pushing and so forth, and it's a lot of women in rap now. Hasn't always been that way, and that's not a bad thing, but that means that you got to show up and stand out a little bit more. And like Sexy Red, well, on the other side, I'll tell you why I think Sexy Red is still working, and Glorilla 2 and Lotto. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Psst. Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? My...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation. For KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So the chat is buzzing. Kendi, shout out to Kendi. Welcome back in. He said they've tried several rebrands for Megan and none of them have worked. It was very random seeing her at an anime awards show. I don't think it's random. She's always talked about that she likes anime from the beginning. She has made lots of references to it, talked about the different characters she likes. So I don't feel in that regard it is off. But I do think that they are trying to reposition her post Tory and all of the, messy girl stuff that has been attached to her. And I just don't know. I feel like a lot of the audience identified with her, beautiful brown-skinned woman, thick, being doubted, and I think they like the idea of her much more than they actually like the music. We'll see, though. She has her line with Nike coming out. Some of the stuff looked really nice. You guys better sell it out. You better run it up. I think we've talked about Lotto. I think Lotto has bars. She can spit. So I think that she's going to be in a good position. I think Glorilla, she has a little thing to her like that. Yeah, Glow, that's bubbling. People like that. Cuban on Cuban. She's saying Cuban, but her accent sounds like it's saying Cuban. And it's a thing, So people are shouting out to that. I think what Sexy Red has going to her is that she seems like a regular girl that you could just chill with. She just seemed cool, like your home girl. Like, that's my homie. Like, you drink with her, do whatever, talk mess and go and have a good time. And it's like, she don't be with the problems or that type of thing. She very much gives off that type of vibe to me. And her songs are just fun. People don't care that it's not skilled or whatever. It's just like, good time. So I think she has a little minute, but we'll see. Andy?
With regards to Megan, I just think that it's sad and unfortunate because I think the whole Tory Lanez situation, she lost a lot of fans because of that.
I think it's both. I think that as morbid as this may sound, it helped her in a lot of ways because it came at a time when, following the Breonna Taylor incident and just things where women were in the face, not that they aren't always, of violence and their voices were being overlooked. And here was an example of a successful rapper seemingly going through the same thing. So I think that in that regard, it worked for her. But there was a lot of division about what happened, what type of friend she was. Her friend Kelsey has recently come out and done an interview, and people are a little disappointed in the interview because they wanted more dirt. But I'm kind of like, that situation has been explained 9 million ways to Sunday. You kind of know what happened. You either believe Tory shot Megan or you don't, and you think something else happened. But we know something happened that night, and alcohol fueled a great deal of it from all sides, and it is really unfortunate. But thank you. Shout out to Fahima, the American Society of Magical Negroes. So we're going to talk about my connecting that to Gwyneth Paltrow shortly. And I did see the movie, so we'll talk about that a little bit, probably later in the week when I air the interviews. But Andy, you were going to say something.
Didn't Rhapsody drop an album?
She is dropping something. She mentioned
okay,
she is going to be dropping something soon. So we'll see what she comes with. I imagine Rhapsody has to deal with some interesting pressure. Like, there's no pressure in some type of ways because people don't really expect for her to do much. But I think in some ways it's pressure on herself because, I think she's tired of being the poster girl of what you call, substance in hip hop, but then there's no real support to that.
I don't see any pressure at all. The what did you call her? The
substance?
No. You called her the poster child. Part of me don't even want to give her the poster child. I don't want to give her the poster child because I know this is gonna sound horrible, but it's like, nobody's checking for her like that.
They aren't, but they always reference her.
They do reference
when they're
her.
Always like, we need more topics in music,
and more substance,
we need more substance. And it's, y'all don't support Rhapsody. Y'all don't support Rhapsody either.
That's why it's kind of hard for me to, anoint her as the poster child. But I understand where you're coming from. I just wish maybe there was another term as opposed to poster child in her regard.
And so realistically, no, there isn't pressure on her. But I don't know if she has a major label deal or she's all independent. I don't know what that is. But at some point, you got to get tired of saying, we think you're talented, we like your substance, but none of your stuff hits. And I don't mean that to be, Andy's laughing. I'm not being mean or being funny, but does she care about being mainstream versus underground? Is she just the type, I'm just an artist and I want you to hear my stuff? Or does she want to do, more major venues and have things like that? I'm unclear because I'm going to be honest. And though I have heard some things that, are appealing, I cannot say that I have been a consumer of any of Rhapsody's music.
Ditto. And I don't think she cares about the fame like that. The vibe that she gives off is she doesn't care about. She just wants to stay true to hip hop and, do good music.
Right, but she wants to pay her bills too. and that's what I mean. Like, that's the reality. We can love things all that we want to and love them just for the artistic merit of them, but she's not doing it as a hobby. If that's the case, she didn't have to put out music to the masses. She could just have a little, SoundCloud or whatever and keep it moving. So she wants some type of commercial success attached to it.
Well, she'll make her money by performing shows.
Will she?
I don't know.
I hope so. Again, I'm not casting. I'm just trying to. I truly want to know who her fans are and where her fan base is. Because I believe she has them like, is it largely male? Is it largely female? Is it an underground type of vibe? What type of shows does she perform at? Are they small, intimate
That's a
things?
great question.
You know, stuff like that.
You familiar with Project Blowed, right?
What is it?
Are you familiar with Project Blowed?
Mm-mm.
You don't know about Project Blowed?
No.
I've never been to Project Blowed, but I believe it's a local hip hop community here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, they had events over here in Lamert Park. I've never been. I had a homie who was a part of it or whatnot. But like Project Blowed is like they have a whole bunch of underground type MCs, but have popping names though. Like what's his name? AC Alone. You know what I'm saying? He was a part of that. I can't think of any of the other rappers, but that type of crowd. That type of crowd would be her crowd.
So here's the thing, and 100% I get that, but we all got bills, right? And shrinkflation stuff. I just, again, I don't know. It's not shade. I just, in all honesty, because I have seen interviews where she said, stop putting me up as the counter to whatever is going on this other side. Pretty Brown Mimi says, hip-hop has become so ratchet and raggedy. Kendi says, I think Rhapsody is too old for the investment from labels.
Whew.
That's harsh.
Very harsh.
So by that, what do you mean, Kendi? Again, I'm unsure if she has a label deal, but here's the thing. The way label deals are set up, most of them are going to be 360-ish. Right? They're going to take a piece of your touring. If you get some little merch out there, if you get an endorsement, you know, they have their hands in a little bit of everything. Maybe some of your publishing, if you have some of that, any way that they can stick it in there at this point. So it does, you know, they want you to succeed in all arenas because they succeed too. But with Rhapsody, I don't think it's age that determines, maybe age of consumer. I think it just depends on, excuse me, who they feel her audience is and what type of spin they'll put in. That's why I asked, what type of shows do they do? Can they stick Rhapsody on this festival circuit this summer and, you know, work her into all of that? Are there only some that would qualify? You know,
Rhapsody, I think, like, let's say Wu-Tang, they have their residency cracking, right, in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Rhapsody, to me, would be a perfect opening act for Wu-Tang.
Interesting.
So, you know, just a real hardcore hip-hop crowd, that's her market.
But where is that crowd right now? Like, who is the mainstream top of that scene?
There is no mainstream hip hop.
Like, would it be a Kendrick?
It Kendrick, yes.
Okay.
I think, matter of fact, that's the perfect artist right there. Maybe if she collaborated with Kendrick on a record, I think that would definitely probably boost Rhapsody's name up. So I think Kendrick is the closest.
And I think that could possibly, from the little bit that I know of, y'all don't dog me, be a good fit for her. Pretty Brown Mimi asks, does being mainstream mean shaking your behind and showing your tatas? We need substance and consciousness in hip hop.
Not at all. Look at J. Cole.
I don't think, well, she's talking about for women though.
For women?
For women, it does, kind of. However, I think that, I mean, we go back to a Cardi and Bia both sampled Missy Elliott. She's a, what? When you say my name, talk my junk, but don't look my way. She's a, what? Anyway, I heard Bia's a little salty that Cardi sampled it, but, you know, it's a sample. It happens all the time. You know, they shop these beats out to everybody. But I think about Missy, and even though Missy's songs
very sexual,
heavy sexual, Missy was covered up. And we accepted it. No, I'm just saying, like, so the question is, can you be mainstream and not be naked? And I think that you can, but you gotta, the music has to be there. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even, Sexy Red doesn't really be in clothes, but in theory, I don't think anybody cares about that. Like, if Sexy Red came out in some torn up jeans and a tank top, I think it would fit with her image and nobody would be like, oh, where's her onesie? You know, like, so I think that you can. I think what is lacking is the music. And here's the thing. Again, we know rappers talk about murder, kill, deal in a lot of their subject matter. So people are like, well, what's wrong with women talking about, you know, kitty cat tails? And in theory, nothing, but it's all done in the same way for the most part. And that is what is not entertaining about it. Like, the reason why something like FTC, Nicki Minaj, I think I'm missing a letter in there. F, the club. Yeah, FTCU. That's what I'm missing. U. Bangs is because you can do something with it. People want to put it on, or even if it's their, you know, these 15 seconds go hard on my TikTok, and we're going to keep having that resurgence. I think that they're ignoring the fact that the quick songs aren't working anymore, the sing-songy. You got to have a little something to it because it's so many and they're replaceable, and we'll pull them in and push them right back out. Pretty Brown Mimi says, some of the men in hip-hop are up there in age, too. I think hip-hop, as for artists, they're just starting to get older. We've only, in the past 10 years, really seen hip-hop artists over the age of 40. And there's only a few that are really stand out when you think about it, or really, well, there's more than a few. But I think that is because hip-hop is becoming older. The elder statesmen are just coming into swing. So, like, we have Jay-Z that releases an album every 4 years. Nas, but his stuff is different. Someone like, who else? 2 Chainz is over 40. You know, I'm just, you know, different things. What's his name is over 40. T.I. I don't think he does music anymore. I don't know. But I think that their stage presence has allowed them to hang around. Kendi, we're going to get to your comment on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me. I'm sending him a 4-page letter, and I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. He better. I'm sending him a 4-page letter. Oh yes, I enclosed it with a kiss. And when I write him, he better get it on time. I'ma write you a love letter tonight. You better keep a watch, 'cause the mailman's coming. Oh, yes, he is.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. An effort is underway in Richmond, Virginia to save what's described as a piece of the fabric of the community. That's what former Virginia Delegate Viola Baskerville said at a rally to save the former Richmond Community Hospital in Jackson Ward. Plans are in place to demolish the 117-year-old building. Baskerville says the hospital staff labored to make sure the African-American community was treated with respect as patients. A former Tuskegee Airman feels honored after a 100th birthday celebration was held over the weekend in Lexington, Kentucky. WKYT reports Glendale Bennett received a Senate resolution in honor of his centennial by Senator Reggie Thomas. Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton gave Bennett the key to the city. Bennett trained with the African-American Airmen in Tuskegee, Alabama during World War II before serving in Europe. Bennett's secret to life is, quote, live good, love everybody, and do the thing that's right in life, end quote. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
2024 season ticket memberships are on sale. All memberships include exclusive access to opening day, postseason tickets, member-only events, team store discounts, and more. Join the community of fans who share excitement for Dodger baseball. Visit Dodgers.com/membership.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
jump off. Goons in the club, case something jump off. You back up for the high, but the pump off. In the graveyard is where you get dumped off. All we wanna do is party and buy everybody at the bar Bacardi. Black Barbie dressed in Bulgari. I'm trying to leave in somebody's Ferrari. Spread love, that's what a real mob do. Keep it gangster, look out for the people. I'm the wicked bitch of these. You better keep the peace, or out comes the beast. We the best, still is room for improvement. Our presence is felt like a black Panther movement. 7 quarter to 8, back to back when I'm sitting on chrome 7 times.
Shout out to my beats, with the Bentleys, the Hummers, the Benz. Escalade 23 trims, jumping out the Jaguar with the Timbs. Keep it real, live good. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. All my players in the hood stay fly. And if you ballin', let me hear you say ride.
It's Little Kim and Timberland.
Welcome back in. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Queen B with the jump off. Hey, go Kim. Go Kim. So listen, the chat is on fire about this topic of female rappers and if the wave is over. Joe Budden says he thinks Cardi B is scared to drop. She's been testing singles. We've talked about that. It's been 6 years. She promises that she's dropping this year. She probably has no choice at this point. I do believe that she's a little fearful. And she's alluded to as such, but listen, get over the sophomore jinx and just do it. Andy?
You know, I appreciate the fact that, she probably acknowledges the fact that, she might be a little bit fearful. And quite frankly, I think on that note, she shouldn't drop a second album. There's no need to. Musically, she already has her footprint in the sand. You know what I'm saying? You could go ahead and retire her just for Bodak Yellow off the rip. I'm just saying.
You could.
She made more of a wave than a Rod Digger. Hell, you could even say she made more of a wave than Rhapsody. Somebody who we hold in high regard. So, do we truly need more music from Cardi B? I don't know. Biggie only dropped 2 albums before he passed.
That is true.
I'm not trying to, hold that against him or whatnot, but I'm just saying, like, do we need 20 albums from an artist nowadays, right? Kendi just said Jay-Z is washed. Maybe 444 was washed, but it's crazy because there's an older generation of folks who actually love 444.
And I think that's what we have to remember, that now rap is multi-generational. So, what, you don't stop liking hip hop because you're 49. You still might want to hear some hip hop. Now, you may not want to hear my cookies pink and my Tootsie Rolls brown, but you might want to hear I invest in it, multiplied and grow. Do you know what I mean? Different phases of life. We can have that now, Andy.
It's just funny because, I just played some Lil' Kim, right? Lil' Kim, Foxy, they were pushing what today's female MCs are pushing.
Facts.
Right?
With a better pen.
For sure, with a better pen. 100%, I'm with you on that. So, I guess my question for the chat is, what is the difference? Outside of what you just said.
I mean, I think that is just youth. You just sit your old butt down. You don't know. What you talking about? Go on, auntie. Go on, unc. Go on over there. Go on over there and sit down. I think it's just youthful not being able to relate, or what you think, what you think 38, 45, 50 should look like and what you'll be doing. Probably not what you think, especially we're in different times. So, I mean, you're always going to want to go back to the music of your youth that got you hyped. And then, in this current thing, again, you may not want to turn up the same way, but that also doesn't mean that this is not the 40s, meaning the age range of even in the 2000s or the 90s. It looks different physically. Your average 40 and 50-year-olds are looking different. What they're involved in is certainly different as well. Kendi says, your ability to move merchandise consistently is just as important today as the talent on the mic. I don't think anyone listening to Rhapsody is going to buy $200 shoes from her. And you're right.
But she wouldn't be slanging no $200
But
shoes
exactly. The products that she would be moving or the merch, it would be different things. I think that there is something to be said about staying in your lane. Erykah Badu is 52 years old, but guess what? She's selling incense for $50. And people are buying it. It sells out. Do you know what I mean? So it's about aligning yourself with what is authentic, an authentic extension of you, and where your audience is. Erica's still making music, still performing to shows and touring. And like I said, she's 52. She has her booty out sometimes. She did not have her booty out back in the day, you know. But that is just the phases that she is going through as a woman. Fahima says, Jill, I think 444 was fire and I'm older than 49. Again, it's just, you know, it's where you're at. Some things don't work for everybody and that's okay. That's why I'm not mad at the kids having their thing. Sometimes I just want some of it to be better quality because I think quality stands out even if you're not into the youth aspect of it.
Well, I think we all know that this generation of MCs, of music artists, this is a hustle for them.
Right.
I don't think
It's
they
not
have
a
an
passion.
it's not a passion. It's not an appreciation for it. That's why, you know, Kendi making a comment about merchandise, that obviously probably means more to today's artists than the actual music.
Look at somebody like La Russell. Look at somebody like, even if you think about Odd Future back in the day, they did a lot with merch and things like that. I think it's a whole thing. You look at someone like Sweetie. She recently talked about how music execs told her to twerk more and that her voice was too monotone. She makes, you know, a certain type of music for a certain type of girl. And I think she spun the thing for a while into a whole circular thing. She had her McDonald's meal. She was doing her junk snack thing, which is another deal that extended out. That sold out. Those little Sweetie sauces, they were out of control. I mean, so Pretty Brown Mimi, who's buying $50 incense? I'm not buying it from Erica or Gwyneth. We're going to talk about Gwyneth. Now, Pretty Brown Mimi, you may not be, but people will buy these novelty items and you can sustain yourself, right? I mean, Erica sells out every time.
And I want to ask Mimi this question. Do you think that Cardi B is a good rapper?
You know, hey, if you're asking me, Cardi, when she delivers, she has the vocal inflections, the voice, the talent. Because sometimes, let's be honest, and we hear it more with R&B songs, but sometimes we hear the reference tracks for hip hop. You can hear somebody do a reference track and you're like, but the right person do it, the right voice changes the whole thing up.
The thing about Cardi B, I just feel that she has a great squad and a great team. As far as her being a good rapper, I got to be honest with myself. I don't feel like a lot of that material comes from her.
Right.
If it does come from her, once again, she has a whole team of writers, in my opinion, that makes her artistry and, you know, who she is as an artist dope. But I don't know if I could see her, you know, in a cypher with Styles P and Jadakiss, you know what I'm saying, holding it down. Give me Eve, give me Rhapsody. Yeah, they'll hold it down. But I don't know about Cardi B.
Lotto.
You know what?
I think Lotto could hold it down.
You know what? And see, Lotto is probably one of today's artists that I feel actually has an appreciation of the art.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just, the more and more she drops, you know, a song or a video, I'm just like, yo, Lotto, like, I like her. You know, when she performed, what was it, the BET Awards? Her performance to me was one of the best performances.
She stepped up her performance game. She was another one that had some performance issues, and she heard the feedback. She took it.
Boom.
And improved on it. So we got Fahima on the line. Let's get to Fahima. Hey, Fahima, happy Monday.
Okay, well, two things before I get to the reason why I call. First of all, I think Megan could hold her own against those other folks that Andy just mentioned. And as far as Cardi B is concerned, I am team Cardi B. And rather she writes her stuff or not, it's her execution that matters.
100%.
It's her execution.
I agree.
Now, the reason why I was calling is, right, is, well, I've been spending a lot of time on Spaces and on Twitter, right?
Instead of RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Well, it ain't just, it's not just that. It's just a lot of my. It's
I'm
not
messing
just
with you,
that.
fam. It's all live.
It's a bunch of other radio that I do. Only thing I am doing is my own show. But check this out. I'm concerned because there's a bunch of people have been complaining. Well, not a bunch of people, but a specific group of people have been complaining that the Vice President Kamala Harris was playing Sexy Red while a bunch of HBCU students were over at her house. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I'm not into Sexy Red, but if these young college students, want to rock to Sexy Red at the Vice President's house, that's their prerogative. Like, Sexy Red also performed at the homecoming for the university I teach at. I mean, she's not my cup of tea, but I didn't see anything wrong with the vice president playing Sexy Red while a bunch of HBCU students was partying at her house. What do you guys think? Do you think that these people are just haters, or was there something inappropriate?
I think that we are at a point, we know music is always an easy target, but we are inundated with everyone's opinions of things. And we know that Kamala is going to take it much harder. Madam Vice President, is going to, get hit with it much harder, especially when we're talking about urban and hip hop. And it's an easy target. Look at what she's promoting and degeneracy and oh my God. And I understand, but at the same time, these are kids that are in college, going to school. So they are on the right path and focus because they enjoy some music. And I get it. People are taking it seriously because of the state of where we are and things like that. And that is the stuff they're pointing to. Like, look at the black family. Look at the things we idolize, surgery, all of the things that we point to the music as a director of and not necessarily a reflection of. So I understand why people have their complaints, but I think it's overblown.
Plus,
Well, let me ask you this. So suppose, like back in the day, it was Foxy Brown and Little Kim. I mean, I don't know which politician's house they would have been at, but I mean, like again,
it would have been hot fire, much more than it is currently now.
Really?
Because I think now we've gone through what? Body positivity movement. We've gone through sex positive workers. We are at a point where you are on the wrong side of shame to a degree. Well, I know they was tripping when Obama had rappers at the White House. I mean, these people just need to get over it. I mean, like, okay, Sexy Red is not my cup of tea, but I didn't see anything wrong with the vice president allowing HBCU. I mean, she's a HBCU graduate. She's a fellow Bison. So why wouldn't she let the students rock out at her house?
Well, because she's also a politician, so she's going to try to relate to,
right,
whatever crowd she's,
I think it's just, the pointing to the downfall of society and the role that hip hop plays in it. And especially look at the black woman perpetuating the black female stereotypes. And she's not really black anyway, and she's the police. So all of that is why people are upset.
They need to get over themselves. But anyway, I just wanted to know what you guys thought. And the thing is, I'm a little older than Kamala Harris, and I think I may have shared with you that I went to school with Andre Harrell, and it was my generation when they took the music out of the schools. We black people's ability to make something out of nothing. We developed hip hop.
Well, there it is. Boom.
All right.
Thank you, Fahima, as always. Thomas Outlaw says Lauryn Hill only needed one solo album in the 90s to solidify her impact in the ladies' hip hop game. I'll push back on that because how can you not include the 2 Fuji albums, especially Fuji Live, which had the Killing Me Softly sample, which really, Lauryn was on the map, but which really made people sit up and take notice. So yes, she had that one classic album, but she also had 2 other bodies of work to add to that.
We're talking solo, Jill.
We
But
are
I hear
talking
you,
solo.
but I hear you.
But do you know what I'm saying? When we talk about classic Lauryn Hill, we talk about that album, but who's leaving out what she was doing with the Fugees, especially that second album? Killing Me Softly was everywhere.
And I just want to say, I think every generation of hip hop has had their like ridicule.
Yep.
Because I remember as a kid, you know, and I know it's not females, but Snoop Dogg and Tupac, I mean,
yep,
they were over here crushing the CDs and stuff like that. So I think it's just a generational thing. At least for me, I do feel like I'm becoming that older individual. Like, I don't know about these kids nowadays. It's a trip.
I mean, some of it's not right. Pretty Brown Mimi says, while we're twerking to all this stuff, they're cutting DEI programs in colleges in Florida. So we need some intelligence in hip hop too.
I'm gonna say no. I don't think we should put that on hip hop. There's a lot of, if we want to talk about skin color, there's a lot of black folk, I'm gonna assume, out there in Florida. You know what I'm saying? At least maybe trying to challenge the whole DEI situation. So let's not put that responsibility on hip hop, because I think we do that a lot, especially when it comes to political matters.
We try to put them in positions that they may not be ready for, and then are mad when they slip up and make mistakes in it. And that is not fair at all. So Gwyneth Paltrow in a recent, when we come forward, we'll get into Gwyneth Paltrow. All of that on the other side. Scintillating conversation. You know how that goes. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So Gwyneth Paltrow recently revealed that she believes that Black women and how they approach life can help women of all races. She was speaking with Dr. Ella Bell, who's also a Black woman, and she praised how Black women speak life into themselves and those around them. And she said that she wishes that white women would adapt those same positive traits. She says, my Black women friends know themselves, love themselves in a way that I think white women are not taught to. I think white women are taught to be competitive with one another, which is something I've tried so hard to dispel because I don't believe in competition between women. But we've been raised to be competitive, to be jealous, to look over each other's shoulders. At least in my circle of Black women, they don't do that. There's an immediate acceptance and safety and appreciation. White women have to learn a lot from Black women. I've learned so much from my Black friends about ruthless self-acceptance and full love of self. And I think we as white women in this culture have a lot to learn from our Black sisters and the way they respect themselves. And I'm not sure exactly where that comes from. So one, I feel that. But two, I also do not like that Black women always seem to be put in the positions where they have to affirm everyone else and let me show you how to love yourself while accepting that the world doesn't always love us. That comes from the denial, the pushback, the things. And of course, that's not Gwyneth's fault. And what she said, there wasn't anything wrong with it. But I just, much like the magical Negro, the magical best friend in the movies, the sassy best friend, or things of that nature, I think always saying that Black women have high self-esteem in some ways can be damaging because when they are not suffering, when they are suffering from lack of self-esteem or when they are trying to find their circle and their kinship, people might assume that they're okay, that they're fine because Black women are always fine. They're always confident. They're always in the lead. And I think all women are socialized to be competitive and jealous in the right situation. So the notion that Black women don't compete with one another or aren't jealous, it's not true. Not something that we want to stand out with, but again, not wanting to say that Black women are some mythical, we are magical and incredible, but we have feelings, we're humans as well, and we go through things. We go through things in friendships, in love, and all of those things. So be gentle with us too, Don't expect us always to be the one to solve your problems and support you. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. Social media is mad at Usher for spending time with Russell Simmons. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Jerry Jones and this DNA test he has to take. Plus, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Jumping out the Jaguar with the Timbs. And keep your bread up and live good. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide. All my players in the hood stay fly. If you ballin', let me hear you say ride.
Into the world of the Playboy pinup girl, butt naked, dressed in none but pearls. You wanna meet me cause you know I'm freaky and you want me cause you say I'm sexy. Got a man in Japan and a dude in Tahiti.